What causes DM in dogs? Canine degenerative myopathy is a spinal cord disease. DM can result in a gradual paralysis in dogs starting in the hind legs and moving toward the front. It usually appears in dogs that are middle-aged or older. In many ways, DM is similar to some forms of ALS. Both diseases involve degeneration in certain parts of nerve cells and affect spinal cord motor neurons. There is no effective treatment available for DM in dogs and no cure. In fact, the condition usually progresses to the point of euthanasia out of concern for the dog's quality of life. However, scientists are doing a lot of research on DM to learn more about the disease and how they might be able to treat it. The first signs of DM can be subtle, like your dog dragging a rear foot, having a wobbly gait, or taking a wrong step here or there. With time, the signs of canine DM progress into swaying, falling on the side, loss of coordination, worn nails in the rear paws, walking on their knuckles, and even having difficulty getting up. When I asked Dr. Joan Coates what her advice to breeders would be to avoid DM in their breeding program, this was her response. Myself and the Canine Genetics Laboratory believe that in breeds with a moderate to high frequency of DM, eliminating all carriers and even all at-risk dogs would bottleneck the gene pool. Along with that one bad gene, many positive traits and overall genetic diversity are lost. Limiting choices for breeding could eliminate the dogs needed to avoid a different genetic issue or avoid future issues. With the wise use of DNA testing, dedicated breeders can reduce and eventually eliminate the risk of disease over several generations while maintaining a healthy and diverse gene pool. Our recommendation to reduce the risk of DM in litters being planned is to make certain that at least one parent is DNA tested normal or clear. Bred to a carrier, some pups will be normal, some carrier. Bred to an otherwise outstanding at-risk dog, all pups would be carrier. None will be affected at risk. The overall risk of clinical DM is reduced, and with any luck, the other good traits are passed to the next generation and genetic diversity is retained. Using the DNA test to make careful choices is the best way to keep the good while reducing and eliminating the bad over time. How is DM in dogs diagnosed? Your vet may start to diagnose by noticing signs consistent with DM, like gradual rear end weakness. But rear end weakness can also be caused by other problems. In the end, diagnosing DM involves diagnosis of exclusion, meaning your vet makes a diagnosis once they've ruled out other possibilities. DNA tests help provide insight about whether your dog carries a genetic risk for DM. The tests look for a variant in the SOD1 gene. No matter the breed, it appears that dogs with DM had 2 copies of one or both genetic variants. GenSol is one of the many labs that offer DNA testing easy to do at home and very inexpensively. You're looking at Diesel's results from his DNA test, DM in particular, reflecting that he had 2 markers at risk affected. Since DM symptoms do not appear until about 8 years of age, and it cannot be definitively diagnosed without histopathology post-mortem, the DNA testing becomes a critical tool to move the breed forward. It's time to ask yourself, what path do you decide to take when making decisions on your breeding program? Use the science as a method to move the breed forward away from DM, or ignore the science and continue down the road we already find ourselves on.